Welcome back. Today I want to talk a little bit about starting your business and building your business and some of the limiting beliefs that can pop up around doing so that I've been noticing can help people stay stuck. So today I want to tackle some of those and I want to address some counterpoints to them. The first thing I want to talk about, the first limiting belief is that it's gonna be too hard and I'm never gonna be able to make enough money to do it. Or that it's just too hard, right? So I was talking with a friend of mine who happens to be an artist, a painter, and in her life, in her working life, she's had a lot of financial support by way of partners helping her. So she sort of had people to lean on while she did her art. Well, in so doing, she never really cultivated an actual business for herself. And now for the first time in her life, she's like, I need my own business. I'm an artist. I should be selling my art. Instead of taking these odd jobs so that she could sell her art, she's actually a world-renowned artist. So using her as an example, I want to talk about what happened, what's going on for people, that this is something that people are afraid to do, to take the leap. I think one of the things that holds us back are the stories that people have told us about entrepreneurs and business owners. There's this idea that there's a constant hustle. And in talking with my painter friend, I realized, wow, there is a constant hustle. No denying that. And in my conversation with her, I said, yeah, sometimes I do feel stuck in the hustle. But there is never a time where I regret working for myself and wish that I was working for someone else and getting paid to do what I do from someone else, because there is no paycheck that can surpass the pricelessness of being your own boss. But I didn't know that for a really, really long time. In fact, when I first opened my business, first started my private practice in 2007, I worked for somebody. I worked in a mental health agency and I was working full-time. So I was working a full-time job. And I talk about this in my Burnout video also, but I was working a full-time job and I was building my private practice in the evenings and on the weekends, which is great. People love to see their therapist in the evening and on the weekends. Side note, I was also playing in a band. So I was getting busy. My practice was growing and it was getting busier. About a little into that, about a year and a half goes, I'm in and I'm picking up speed, and I go to my employer, who's a mental health agency, and asked them if there was any room for me to go part-time, even three-quarter time, 30 hours a week, down from 40 a little bit slowly so I could focus on my private practice. Well, the answer was no, and there was reasoning behind that. They told me that it was a conflict of interest, and that I would never make it working for myself. And I felt that. I was afraid of that. And so it was really hard to let them go. Luckily at the time, I was playing in a band with some people, some very supportive people who were like, that's bullshit, Mo. You are absolutely going to be able to work for yourself and make money. And so I took the leap. Luckily for me, and granted, it wasn't easy. It was up and down. Sometimes I would have a lot of clients, sometimes I would have very little. So it was kind of like, it was scary. So I started in 2007. Around mid 2008, I quit my job. Around 2010, I found a amazing, wonderful part-time job that allowed me to work as many hours as I wanted, and it capped at, I think, 30 hours a week. So it was never more than 30 hours, and I could work 20, I could work 15. And it was perfect for building my practice. It was so great. And I did that for several years, and then until I finally was able to leave them and take the leap into my private practice. I will add one caveat though, and I do talk about this in my other video about the time spent building my practice. There was a mentality that snuck in during those years, those early years of running my business, and that was that I still didn't have enough clients, that I still wasn't making enough money. And so even though I left that part-time job, I ended up taking a teaching job, even though my private practice was full. Not only was my private practice full, I had employees that were also seeing clients in my private practice. I still took a teaching job, and I worked, as a semester as an adjunct professor at night, a couple nights a week, to make up some income, because there was this fear of letting go of that paycheck. And then, my story is around burnout, because I actually ended up getting so burnt out that I had to close everything down completely. And the irony of that is, when I did close everything down completely, I had a giant savings account. I had fed into the story around, it's called, not starvation economics. Well, let's just call it starvation economics. I had fed into the story that there wasn't enough. And even though I was making enough money and putting it away, squirreling it away in a savings account, I couldn't stop working. The hustle had gotten me. So when I was talking to my friend and I was telling her that sometimes I get stuck, and I get stuck in that hustle, it's a mindset. It's a hustle mindset. And you have to remind yourself that you're actually making enough money. You actually have enough clients. You are actually doing really good. And guess what? You actually get to take a break. So the hustle mindset is something that you have to work on. And that is recognizing, even while you're building, you have to cultivate that. Let's slow down. Let's take our time. So that's something that I think is a really important piece for people to realize when they're starting their own business. There are a ton of limiting beliefs, and one of them is that you're never going to be able to do it. And that feeds into this other idea that you have to hustle hard constantly forever and ever and ever. And luckily for me, when I realized I was burnt out and I looked at my savings account, I was able to take a year off and not work at all. Closed my practice, moved to New York City, worked on music, and had enough money to survive in New York City for a year without working. So I was doing really well. I just got stuck in that mindset, scarcity mindset. That's the word I'm looking for. I got stuck in the scarcity mindset that I didn't have enough and that I wasn't going to make enough. And I kid you not, when I came back from that sabbatical, I reopened my practice. While I was building my client caseload back up, I had to take that part-time job again. So I went back to the part-time company for a year. Then my practice was full, and I said, I'm just going to do it. This is what I wasn't able to do last time. This time I did it. I leaped. And once I leapt, and I knew in my mind that I could do it because I had done it before, but this time I knew I could do it and I wasn't going to take a adjunct professor job. I have never looked back. That MF scarcity mindset will hold you back, guys. it will hold you back, and it will in fact prevent you from flying and moving forward. So this talk was really about scarcity mindset, but the thing about it is I didn't create that scarcity mindset. The world taught me that. The world taught me that, and I was so scared to take a leap on my own. I believed it. And you know, so yeah, I'm gonna do a series on all of these limiting beliefs that hold us back from starting our own business. But this was video number 1. This is something that in my course you will learn how to undo. My Pleasure Psych Intimacy Coaching Sex and Relationship Coaching course, where you'll also learn how to become a sex and relationship coach. You're also going to learn how to run a thriving business of your own by tackling all of these limiting beliefs. That's it for now. I'll be back with some more tips on how to start tackling those limiting beliefs coming soon. Thanks so much. Bye.